here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Meat Cat Body by Jeremy Jones.
Good evening. It is the Mashup Monday where Lenner and I are going to talk Giants and Lions, and we're going to start with Giants standouts and let Lenner take the lead here.
How goes it, everybody? Well, our week one standouts for the Giants in OTAs. Malik Neighbors, the only wide receiver that seems to be having a connection with Daniel Jones right now. Drew Lock is connecting with everybody who 100% looks like he should be the starter. He came out yesterday, said that he's there to be the backup, try to help out Daniel Jones to make him a better player, but he knows he's waiting in the wings in case they need him. Bryce Ford Whedon. There's a reason we gave him that $236,000 signing bonus, that contract with the 25 guaranteed when we signed him as an undrafted player last year. He was showing out good in training camp last year. He picked it up after the injury this year. Do I expect him to be a superstar in the league? No. But he could be a nice outside guy to complement with Malik Neighbors. We have Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson who can play in the slot. And, yeah, he's going to be a good piece there. Darius Slayton reported back to the team. He didn't get the new contract exactly that he wanted, but they added incentives to his contract that could boost him up like another $3 million. And he's been our leading receiver 5 out of the 6 years that he's been there. Fully attainable incentives they gave him. Wan'Dale Robinson. What can we all say about that guy? He's a Swiss Army knife. He does it all. If it wouldn't have been for the 2 injuries he had, the ankle and then the ACL, we'd all be talking about him as a great fantasy guy. I think he's my sleeper to break out this year. He lines up all over the field. He plays the slot. He lines up in the backfield and catches amazing. And he's fast. Theo Johnson, again, we all knew what he was going to be coming out of Penn State. The guy can catch great. He's not the greatest blocker, but he's fast, and he's not going to be needed as a blocker there. And with Darren Waller still on the fence about what he's going to do, expect Theo Johnson to get all the freaking targets. Darnay Holmes. He's the third guy on the roster right now behind Deontay Banks and Cordell Flott, who are expected to be CB1 and CB2. Now, he might have had the entire play of all the OTAs so far. He broke up a pass on the flat headed towards Eric Gray. Coming from the corner position, knocked that ball loose, took it to the house the other way. Andrew Phillips right now is finally starting to show why they drafted him in the 3rd round. They've had him lined up at safety, outside, and then nickel. Nickel is most likely where he's going to play. He's had a bunch of breakups, and he's picking up the schemes very well. So I expect big things from him. We all know Deontay Banks is our number 1, though. I expect that man to have probably about 6 interceptions this year. What else coming out of Giants camp? Oh, yeah. Darren Waller still has not decided if he is going to retire. But every other day he seems to try to continue his wannabe rap career with another trash song.
That being said, we got a few comments. Dwayne Keene saying, good evening all. Let's go Detroit Lions, one pride. Dwayne Keene's been trying to get this cold to go away for a week and 3 days. This cough sucks also. I know all about it. I finally broke mine on Sunday, and it was about the same amount of time. And Ricky Sakat comes in and goes, JB, Von Doom, top of the evening, men. King SJ says, hey, guys. And Dwayne Keene, are we We are better and do awesome this year, and our defense will be better. Let's keep biting kneecaps all year. Matter of fact, let's get into that because with the new rules, that's the safest tackle in the NFL. You'll get fined, but you can't be suspended and you can't be kicked out of the game for it. Hit them knees. Right, Lenner?
Damn right.
Tim Colburn comes in and goes, "What's up, JB?" Well, we're getting ready to talk about the Lions standouts from the voluntary OTAs, and I understand it's just 7-on-7s. There's no pads, all of that. It's pajama Olympics. But at the same time, there are standouts. For both weeks for the Lions, it was Terrion Arnold showing out, making interceptions every other day. Sion Vaki showed out on special teams and at running back and is threatening Craig Reynolds for the third spot. Traquan Smith, who showed up as a contested red zone catch guy, catching 3 out of 4 targets in the end zone. Mitchell Agood, the linebacker UDFA we signed last year. And last but not least, Leaf Raymond returned in the second week for the voluntary OTAs and showed he's still a very viable target as a wide receiver. But he all has his special teams abilities too. All of that stuff is key. And Mitchell Agood also was doing a good job at tackling on special teams. Reason why he might be able to stay on this roster as a depth piece. Do you disagree with anything I said right there?
I hate Laquan Treadwell. I mean Traquan Smith. I'm sorry, not Laquan Treadwell. I
I'll
hate
say
Traquan Smith.
Oh, ain't the guy. You hate Traquan Smith? Why?
I just don't like him.
You have no reason for it. You just don't like him.
Yeah, my prerogative. It's like kids. Fuck him.
Well, he's 6'2". He weighs almost 220. He's had 130 catches for 1,764 yards, 18 touchdowns. Out of those 18 touchdowns, 16 were in the red zone while at the goal line. So he is that type of guy, even while he was there in limited fashion for 5 years in New Orleans. Last year, he was in Denver, and because Russell Wilson was allergic to throwing in the red zone, probably because he still has visions of that Super Bowl game versus the Patriots on the one, but he didn't target him at all. He had no targets for the 14 games he played, which is ridiculous. Don't you agree? Even if a guy's bad, you should at least target him a couple times.
Meh.
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 Meh. But the reason why Traquan Smith is a good contested catch guy, much like they said about Xavier Legette coming out of South Carolina, he struggles with getting separation, so he learned to do the best with his hands in those situations to rip the ball away from defenders.
Ooh, let's go.
What are you watching?
Oh, I just got a Bleacher report, and it makes me like C.J. Stroud so much more. When asked to his career, he'd rather have Eli Manning or Aaron Rodgers. You want the rings. Eli got 2.
Doesn't Peyton have 2?
What?
Peyton has 2.
Peyton didn't deserve either fucking one. No, he played absolute dog ass. He had years when he was in the playoffs and he should have went to the Super Bowl and won a ring. But when he got to that point, it was after his broken neck. He didn't have that zip anymore. He threw a wobbler. He wasn't the same guy.
So let's talk about the contracts that happened over the last 5 days in the wide receiver room. We all know about Amon-Ra St. Brown. That happened well over a week ago. But in the last 5 days, the first one off the board was Jalen Waddle, who got, 28.5?
Mm-hmm. Was it Waddle first or was it Collins first?
And then it was Nico Collins the next day, who got 26.5 per year over 3 years, if I remember right. Which neither one of those are bank-breaking deals for a team. If you think about it, for solid number twos to Nico Collins right now is their number 1 until Tank Dell takes it from them. Correct?
Tank Dell's never going to take the number 1. It's not the type of receiver he is. He doesn't have the size to be a number 1 receiver. Right. Stephon Diggs could take the number 1 spot from him, but I doubt that he will because I truly feel that Nico Collins has more to offer now than Stephon Diggs. Tank Dell is going to be that slot receiver all over the place that just needs to keep his little tiny ass out of the goddamn pile on running plays.
Right. So he
But-
doesn't get his leg broke again.
Last year, he was a rookie, broke his leg. Everybody's like, well, who the hell is this Tank Dell guy? Blah, blah, blah. He should have been a first-round pick off the board. The guy was the absolute best receiver in college. The only reason he didn't go first is because he's a tiny little person.
Right. But Tank Dell,
He's a better Malachi Corley.
I know you loved that guy coming out last year. You're like, Giant, please draft him.
Dude, I do. You know what the thing is? That bullshit underrated player that everybody's like, oh, he's not a first-round player. The past 3 years, I pick him. I say, this is who I want to look. They have a great seasons. And then everybody's like, oh, I love this guy, blah, blah, blah. Like Laporta. I was high on that guy for years. And everybody's like, no, you're crazy. Now everybody on his dick, and I was right.
Hey, I didn't doubt you. I just said I have to see it. Oh, I saw it. You were right. I didn't take anything from you when you said it, did I?
No, I'm just saying a lot of people in general. I wasn't saying just JB.
I like Smith, but he needs to settle his mouth down and show up and play before he runs it. Just say, I don't know where that came from because I haven't heard him saying anything really, other than the fact he's happy to be in Detroit.
Why would anybody be happy to be in Detroit?
Why would they
It's
not
cold.
be at this point?
It's cold in the winter. Fuck that.
They're indoors.
I didn't say playing for the Lions. I just said in Detroit.
Hey, I like Michigan. I lived in Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, a brief stint in Illinois, and here, plus the time I was in the Army in Georgia. I love Michigan.
So you'd rather walk around and look at the women in Michigan than Florida?
Hey.
Huh?
I said I love Michigan, the state. I didn't say anything about the women.
I'm just saying, man.
But in the summertime, it's a lot like looking at the women in Florida if you go to the right spot.
Yeah, if you go to like the old folks' home in Florida and then like the beaches on freaking Lake Michigan, you compare them that way, maybe.
You evidently haven't seen as many beautiful women as I have here in this state. We have plenty of them.
I don't believe it. There's stuff in the water in Florida and on the East Coast. The stuff in the water out there don't help people.
Oh, we have the largest freshwater content in the world.
Yeah. Who said anything about fresh water? I said the stuff in the water out here helps the stuff on the East Coast. The stuff in the water out there don't help nobody. There's a difference. I'm not talking about water itself being fresh. I'm talking about all that extra shit.
Man,
Oh, speaking of shit in water here. How about this? The freaking person in charge of France. What is he? Not the president, but I guess their what is he called? Prime Minister?
Yeah, their prime minister.
Well, they used $5 billion already to try to beautify the city and clean it up for the Olympics, right?
Right.
They want to take another $1 billion to clean the river. In July here, him and one of the people in Parliament are going to take a swim in the river to show how clean it is. There is a thing going around right now where they have a petition for people to but to defecate into the water. And they have the whole thing set up where it's timed how long it would take to float to where the prime minister is going to be when he goes into that water. Because of how much money you lose hosting an Olympics and how much you have to waste.
Well, if you look at it, if you have a place that doesn't have facilities within X amount of miles, those facilities have to be built, correct? Of every single one of those things they choose. So, luckily, because of all the sporting facilities between the colleges and professional ones in LA, when they did LA, they really didn't have to build anything. They just had to build stands around the stuff, if I remember right. For the
something like that.
Stuff. Same with Atlanta. And it would be the same if Detroit got it, really.
Yeah, but what they're saying, though, is like China, Australia, they both lost over $35 billion to host the Olympics. And for what? Just for a little prestige?
Yeah, Yugoslavia one day. They still have empty fucking shit there from when they did the Olympics. Wasn't it Yugoslavia it went to one time?
Maybe.
And then I know Beijing, they still have empty facilities. And somebody said, why don't they convert them to like homeless help or like housing or something? Do something with the land. And they just won't do anything with it. The bobsled run from the Winter Olympics. That's where it was Winter Olympics when Yugoslavia had it.
Oh my God, Antonio Brown, get off of the internet.
He's been so crazy lately on the internet. So
Dude, I can't even say that on the show. It's that inappropriate.
Wow.
Actually, I probably can't because we're not on Roku right now, right? Are we on Roku?
Right, Dwayne Keane, you're absolutely right.
We got the Four Seasons.
Montreal paid for it for years with the Olympic Stadium. Yes, they did. They wanted it, they got it, and then they paid for it. And they paid for it, I think, for 2 decades after.
Exactly, and it's crazy. What's the point of wasting that kind of money to host an Olympics once and then not get it for another 50 years?
See, and I think that's a fallacy of the Olympic Committee on choosing these places. Wouldn't you think they'd want to go back to places that already had the stuff set so that way it doesn't ruin an economy?
I think that the Olympic Committee should raise funds, buy an island, and make an Olympic island, and just host everything there.
Just make sure it's not a volcanic island on an active fault line.
Why, man? I bet you people run faster.
You're that jerk, aren't you?
But I'm serious, though. Or go to the Saudis, buy a section of the desert, build yourself a compound.
Somebody asked me if I would take Justin Jefferson over Amon-Ra St. Brown on the Lions roster right now. And you know what? I honestly wouldn't. You know why, Dan.
Yeah, because the amount of touchdowns he gets and Amon-Ra catches everything. Jefferson has a higher drop rate. If Jameson Williams didn't have potential and he wasn't on the team at all, I'd probably say yes to that trade, though. Right. Because it's something every team needs is the guy to stretch the field. Jefferson's going to do that, and then Laporta can be the safety blanket to catch the volume. If St. Brown, if Jameson wasn't there to have that. Like, if he has a shit year this year and they jettison him somewhere, yes, I'd make that trade just because it makes the team more dynamic.
But now that trade doesn't make sense with how much money they just paid Jefferson with this massive 4-year, what was that, 140 million, 110 million guaranteed?
110 million guaranteed.
Signing bonus.
Hey, sure, after this year, it makes great sense to trade for him. His contract ain't shit after that. They already paid him the signing bonus.
Stop it. Spread out over every year of the contract. They just get it paid up front.
Just saying. I guess J.J. McCarthy's looking better in practice now, too. He settled down a little bit.
Good for them. He needed to. But I still think their smart move would be to start Darnold. I think he needs to sit a year. Just
I 100% say start Darnold. Ooh, I like that. Nick Saban was some nice praise for the Giants safety, Tyler Nubin. They said 100% the best safety in this draft. I think he may be an upgrade.
What's up, gentlemen? Good to see you, Smoking Dad. Well, we talked about the Lions standout, the Giants standout, and now we're looking forward to tomorrow, which is the start of the mandatory OTAs, where you don't have a choice. You either show up or you get fined big, because missing the voluntary for the veterans, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a penance of what they lose.
Yes.
But the mandatory OTAs, that's a different thing. That amount triples, and it hurts the pocketbook then.
Wait, for who?
The vets. It hurts the vets more than anybody.
Oh, yeah, it does. Like Lamar Jackson. He had to attend 80% of team workouts to get a $750,000 bonus. It's the same for 2025, 26, and 27 also. So what the hell reason would you have not to just go there? You don't even have to actually work out. You just have to go and show up in the morning.
Right. King SJ not necessarily saying more talented, but it's pretty hard to outwork St. Brown. That's exactly the point. And I'm not saying that Justin Jefferson didn't deserve to be paid. Those words are not coming out of my mouth. But you can ask Lenner when it came out and everybody said, "Oh, the Lions should trade for him right now and do this and do that." I was like, "No, he's probably going to get signed just before mandatory OTA." Did I not say that?
Yes, you did.
I sat there and I said, if the Goff deal gets done, it's going to be done just before June 1st. But I bet you they knew what was happening June 1st already. They had to have known because otherwise, I don't think they'd have did it. Do you agree with that also?
Yes, sir.
Because I said that it all hinged upon if they knew Cam Sutton's contract was being voided or not. And as soon as June 1st hit Saturday, by Sunday mid morning, Leonard goes, "Hey, how did the Lions get $40 million in cap room?" Cam Sutton's not on the roster. That's why.
Hey, I got one for you too. How about this? Could you believe Mac Jones is looking better in OTAs than Trevor Lawrence?
I heard that and I about laughed. Drafted in the same draft, one was the more pro-ready quarterback. Just got back from my evening walk when I remembered you guys would be on. Thanks, Dad. Yes. Last Monday was an anomaly. Both of us were having a really bad day, so we took the night off. That don't happen very often. We're not live on the Roku on Monday night, so it's an at our discretion thing. Plus, it's off season. It's really hard to come up with good news to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss him during the season.
Dwayne, I honestly think we're done signing unless we go ahead and take a flyer on Jack Bates if he loses in the playoffs in 2 weeks. Or Jake Bates. I think that's about the only signing we do. If we do that. Because Risden just reported last Thursday on the last day of OTAs, Michael Badgley was 4 for 4, including one from 61 yards that would have cleared the bar from 3 or 4 yards further back. So he's been working. And remember, Allen Park is an outside facility. So he actually did it outside. But granted, it was not an in-game situation. There's no pressure, and it's not a clutch moment.
Ooh,
But
I like
Jake
this.
Bates proved he was human. He missed a game-winning field goal for the first time in his career for the Michigan Panthers, and lo and behold, it was outside.
That's okay. The Lions play the first 11 games in domes this year,
I know.
which is some bullshit. How about this? The 33rd team asked their AI who's going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it actually says Malik Neighbors. Huh. I wish they'd ask him who's going to throw him the ball.
Yeah, because that does make a difference. But I don't think we're going to be making very many signings. I think they're going to use that to roll over to increase the cap next year, which isn't that much, everybody. I'm pulling it up right now. It'll be just a second. Internet's acting wonky for my cell service. I went over it this morning. Here it comes. Yeah, we have 40 million this year. If we save that, now remember, we still have to sign Terrion Arnold, which I
Oh, you
think
didn't
that
sign him yet?
nope, he's not signed yet. He's the only one not signed. Dennis Rakestraw signed over the weekend too. But remember that 40.35, the adjusted cap number is 38.1 because of the 2.1 million that they haven't deducted for the dead cap hit that you still get for losing Cam Sutton, because he did get a little bit of a roster bonus for being there at workout during free agency. Yep, that's who I was talking about, Jake Bates. But we only have 46.9, so basically 47 million next year. If we sign Arnold and we still have around, let's say, 35 million left, all but 4 million of that gets to roll over next season. Wouldn't that look a lot better? And then if we need to add something, we can make a splash in free agency. Doesn't that make more sense, Von Doom?
Yes, sir, it does.
Because there's a lot of teams that do that. You have to use X amount of percentage. We're at the percentage you have to use of the cap room right now. We've already spent the 75%. So therefore, we really don't have to spend another dime of this year's money. We could do a futures contract on somebody. And I
I
don't
say
think
fuck
it's
it,
a
just
bad
roll that
idea.
cap over for re-signing freaking Hutch.
Right. We can re-sign Hutch and Aleem. I think the odd men out, as much as I hate to say it, unless they ball out a second year in a row, is Derek Barnes and Ifeatu Melifonwu. We already know Jameer Jefferson probably isn't even making the active roster this year because he hasn't done it since his rookie year. Yep, Marion Arnold still hasn't got that done yet. So Bam McKnight might not make this roster at the rate it's going.
Didn't they re-sign him too?
We kind of signed him to that futures on a 2-year deal last year where it's a low cap hit, but it's going to have 2 void years at the end. So they did, but they didn't have to re-sign him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just rolled over the void year and added to it. I still think it's crazy that the most dead money we have is from Tracy Walker's being cut. It saved us $5 million, but that's the biggest cap hit we have in dead money. Everybody else is 3.8 or less.
That's not bad at all.
Mm-mm. I think this is the least amount of dead money we had going into a season since Brad Holmes has been here. Wasn't the first year something like 60 million in dead cap on him?
Yeah, you guys are on some New Orleans Saints shit.
Well, that was because we had to gut all of those the Patriot Lions we had. Ron Harmon, Trey Flowers, Jamie Collins. The Bob Quinn signings that didn't work.
Yeah, Bob Quinn was great, wasn't he?
He was almost as good as your former GM.
Yeah, except we always made 2 bad signings. We drafted like shit. We didn't sign terrible outside of Galladay and Jonathan Stewart.
We drafted like shit and signed bad players. It was a lose-lose situation. The only thing he drafted good was offensive linemen.
He did do that good.
Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, Graham Glasgow. Those were all Bob Quinn picks. So say what you want. That's actually a pretty good night and day difference on our dead cap from then and now. Absolutely. And even the last couple of years, it was always over 30 million. This is the least amount of dead cap we've had because we've always had to gut somebody off the roster that was overpaid. But it's nice when we can both talk about our teams and be happy with the job our GMs are doing. I mean, with the exception of your new GM signing Daniel Jones and tagging Saquon Barkley to put you in the position you're in now, other than that, he's done pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, trading for Michael Brockers, Trinity Benson, and those trades, we can't say those worked out. We can't say Chase Lucas worked out because he's not on the team anymore. So, as much as we want to tout it, not every player drafted by Brad Holmes is on this roster. Orlando Escobar Jr. is laughing. About time you showed up, Orlando. You missed this morning. I know you've been having fun at Silver Lake, but damn it, Lions are important. So's this show. Right, Lenner?
Yep, that's why my camera's off, because Orlando.
Well, he's on now, so you might want to turn it on. Maybe he'll send you money.
I'm not a cheap whore, JB.
Why not? I thought you were. You said it before the show.
I made a joke.
Right, I've missed so much. Now we know Jay Jetta got paid. You know that, right, Orlando? And you know about Nico Collins getting his deal last Friday, and last Thursday, Jalen Waddle got his deal. He goes, let me see them ditties. He went there.
Of course he did. He's a Lions fan. It's his month, you know. I expect this kind of thing.
It's hot out. Show him the humidity.
Nope.
No?
Freaking no. Fuck you know. What's his name?
Right.
Woody last night was being a smart ass too.
Yeah, I know.
I was trying to show him my tattoo on my arm to show him like what I want done. What I want to get done. And he goes, "Should I like send you some cash after like these OnlyFans pictures?" I was like, "Fuck you, man."
Summertime.
Yep.
Oh, but other than that, there really isn't a lot of news going on. I mean, I talked about the CBA thing last week. Did you get a chance to weigh in on that, Leonard? What they're talking about for next year's for the CBA in 2026?
No, I don't remember exactly what that was.
Ian Rappaport came out and said that they're going to go to the 18-game season, 2 preseasons, eliminate OTAs altogether, and just do a ramp up from training camp in mid-June until the 2 games in preseason.
I hate that.
I hate it too. He says it's to prevent off-season injuries, but at the same time, we've reduced the amount of workouts we do in the preseason. Now, yes, the Sutton contract is all settled. The $12.5 million was added back. Summertime, go Mud Hens. Toledo Mud Hens. Purple Clinger's favorite team.
Summertime, kids home, and my 14-year-old son with slight autism decides he wants to have himself a lemonade stand. So we built him a lemonade stand. You can sell lemonade and hot dogs.
Amen.
I like it. He wants to hustle and make money, so he's got more work ethic than most people I know in this world.
Hey, I have to say, don't knock it. At least he wants to do something to make himself some money. Just remember, if he makes too much, you got to charge him rent.
He makes too much. He can buy his own food.
Deep Fest at Silver Lake starts my summer fun. Hey, I get it.
Excuse me.
We're 2 weeks away from actual training camp and when the pads go on, and that's what I'm excited to see. What about you, Von Doom?
I don't know. Like,
aren't you excited about something that might happen for you next week?
Yeah, should be getting a new car next week.
Yeah.
2024 Crosstrek.
That's a Nissan, right?
Subaru.
I knew it was one of them foreign companies that are based here in America.
Yeah, I need something more with better gas mileage and everything to get my ass to work and reliable. So I take the Pathfinder off the road to get that fixed up. No, he's not.
Right now, he is considered 4th. All it takes is 2 more signings, and he'll be knocked down to 6th.
Wait. He'll be top 5 this year. He's going to be number 5. Expect Lamb to get his contract. Chase still has 2 years on the contract, so they don't have to technically sign him. But if they did right now, since he's going into year 4 and his 5th-year option with what that price is at, they could give him the highest paid contract in the league in new money, and it'd actually still be a freaking steal because of the way that 5th-year option works out.
Right. because it wouldn't affect their cap for till the third season.
Yeah, they could extend him a 4-year deal at like 128 million, put him to where he needs to be.
Higgins
still look
is
good.
probably extended, and if he doesn't sign his tender by tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., he can't be at OTAs.
I expect T. Higgins to sign right before week 1. They basically said they're not re-signing him to the kind of deal he wants. And you know what? He's more valuable to that team than Jamar Chase is.
He asking raw money? I haven't heard that he's asking that. He just wants to make more than the tag. But the tag is what, 22.5 this year?
He wants it in the 26 range a year on a 4-year contract.
So he wants Waddle money.
Waddle's a little bit above that, I think. But yeah, even so, if you compare him to Waddle, his production's better than Waddle. He justifies that. He's a wide receiver 1. He's more Amon-Ra St. Brown than Justin Jefferson. Best way to put it.
Right. He has better route running, better hands.
And I'll say this: he's better at breaking tackles than St. Brown is.
That's true.
St. Brown's got better hands, though.
Yeah, the drop rate's higher with both Higgins and with Jefferson.
Drop rate's higher with damn near everybody in the fucking league.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think this past year, yeah, everybody was. I think it was said he had the lowest drop rate of any wide receiver in the NFL, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Wasn't it like 1.8% this past year? And it's 1.9 for his career so far. If you think about that in a 3-year career, that's pretty amazing.
Yep. No.
Rookie deals are different. They have to be signed before actual training camp. Mandatory OTAs on my dynasty team. He's been a beast for me, I bet. But just on the mandatory OTAs, because it's a franchise tag, it has nothing to do with that. The franchise tag is worded differently than the contract, correct?
Yes. That is correct, sir.
If he doesn't sign that franchise tag before tomorrow, he loses money on the tag itself. So far, the Tigers are 1-1 with the Rangers through the 6th. Struble must be pitching another gem.
Yeah, it's going to be our Cy Young winner this year.
You think Eric Strubel's going to be the Cy Young winner?
Yep.
I think we're going to sit on this money. And I'll tell you why. There's only 46 million available. And like I said, anywhere from 8 million to 18 million is the cost of your draft picks overall. So go Devils advocate, take 15 million off the top. That leaves 31 million. You're able to roll over your cap all but 4 million because they say you should use that in injury signings each year because injuries happen in the NFL. It's going to happen. So you're able to roll over and it's 38 is what it is adjusted after the cap. So you're able to roll over 34 million. You may put it with that and have 65 million. You've got some money to make some big moves, especially if they come up short this year.
Well, also, that money you have right now, that includes all the rookie contracts outside of Terrion Arnold's already signed.
Right. Everyone was signed but Rakestraw and Arnold as of voluntary mini camps over the weekend, and it's Rakestraw signed. So all that's left is Terrion Arnold.
Yep.
And that hit for Rakestraw, because it's at the back end of the second round, it's beautiful. It's $1.35 million.
Okay, here, let me ask you another one. Let me play the opposite of this. Let's say you want to spend some of that money right now. Who the hell out there do you go get? Who makes sense?
Keep hearing a safety. Why does everybody think we need safeties? I'm trying to figure that out. We have 3 bona fide guys that proved it as starters, and they're moving them around to where they fit. Brian Branch was either a nickel corner or a strong safety. Kirby Joseph is a free safety. He was moved to strong safety because Walker and CJGJ was here. Now he gets to go back to his natural position where he flourished. And if Yetu Matafanu, he's a fine in the box safety, dime, nickel corner, whatever you want. Put him in the box. He can do it.
Yep.
I don't think that the talent pool is best at safety out there. I don't think there's a lot. If you're going to add somebody, why not Yannick Ngakwe?
Okay, hang on. Let's check this out here. Best remaining free agents. Kareem Hunt, don't need him. DJ Humphries, offensive tackle. Again, don't need him. He's coming off an MCL injury. Mason Cole, the center. That's not a bad one, but he's coming back from an ACL too. Let's see. Bakhtiari, just no. Micah Hyde. Slant Boy.
Anybody on this list? Yeah, we got Slant Boy, Hunter Renfro, Nicole Hardman, Corey Davis, Julio Jones, Russell Gage, Alec Harrison, Lynn Bowden, Randall Cobb, Sterling Shepard, Robbie Chosen, Richie James, Hakeem Grant, Martavius Bryant, and Quintez Cephas. None of those jump off the page for me. Let's go to the
I don't dislike the idea of maybe another edge like Emmanuel Agba.
Yeah, Emmanuel Agba, Yannick Ngakwe. There's Carl Lawson, Jerry Hughes. Charles Harris is still out there. Tyrus Bowser, Marquise Haynes, Rasheem Green, Marcus Golden, and Shaq Lawson. The top two are the only two that might make sense on a. Haven't made it to safeties yet.
Calais Campbell.
Calais Campbell. I think he is in the process of filing retirement paperwork, so that's why he hasn't been signed.
I got one for you. Ryan Tannehill, just because why the fuck not? No, not him. Xavier Howard, but we don't need safe corners. Steve Nelson. I can't believe he's still a fucking free agent.
Okay. Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams are both often hurt. So you guys want to get them? And they are actually 5th and 6th on the list. Justin Simmons or Eddie Jackson, Marcus May or Micah Hyde. I'd take any one of those guys over Diggs or Adams at this point. Would you agree with that, Von Doom?
Yeah, Justin Simmons is my guy in safety.
But if you get Justin Simmons, that means 100% Brian Branch is the nickel, and you won't see Rakestraw all season.
Yep. Unless
Marcus May is a free safety, so that means Kirby Joseph gets buried on the depth chart.
Justin Simmons would be my guy, but at the same time, I wouldn't make that move to that team because it doesn't make any sense. It just hinders the development of the younger guys.
Surprised they don't all have homes? There's a reason they don't all have homes, because everybody else has set rosters at the position. The team that cut them was their best fit, and it just doesn't work. Xavier Howard and Adoree Jackson are the only two on the cornerback list that I'd have any interest in, and it'd be more on Adoree Jackson than Xavier Howard. But again, if you look at what we have on the roster, Adoree Jackson better than Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson, but is he better than the two unknowns? You don't know. It's all about the money. Absolutely. Justin Simmons wants a record-setting deal.
He did, but what I think is going to end up happening is they're going to wait for the season to start, people to get hurt through the training camps in the first couple of weeks, and they're going to try and sign with somebody that's got a chance to win a ring.
The best remaining off-ball linebackers: Shaq Leonard, Zach Cunningham, Quan Alexander, and Josh Wood. None of them sound better than what we got, do they?
Quan Alexander, when he's healthy, is 100% better than Angelo.
You said the keyword, though, when he's healthy.
Yep. Shaq Leonard is a better pass rusher, but I'm not sold on him anymore either. He's got too many personal issues in life. No, Shaq Leonard is a freaking middle linebacker. He was the one that was Darius Leonard for the Colts, who led the league in tackles for like 3 or 4 years in a row.
And then fell off the face of the earth once he changed his name.
Changed his name, fell off his face, signed with the Eagles for a little bit. They let him go because the Eagles have more linebackers than freaking Penn State has linebackers. CJGJ floating, safety slow, turning him into running back, trying finals. What are you talking about, Orlando?
Who else turned into a running back? I only know that Zion Baki was drafted to be a running back, not a safety. But here's the remaining offensive guard free agents: Dalton Risner, Philip Haynes, Big V, Greg Van Rotten, Mark Lewinsky, Justin Pugh, Tyre Phillips, Trey Turner, Pat Elfline, Wyatt Davis, Chris Reed, Justin McCrary, Matt Filer, and CJ Fluker. Job security, I don't get it. The reason why running backs don't get signed is because they get rode hard. They're workhorses. I like what we're doing by keeping Gibbs and his touches down and making him extend his playing time. It's why a guy like David Montgomery is a perfect fit with him. They're fire and ice. I mean, I don't really see a lot out there that's better than what we got on our roster. Anywhere. Safeties are
I do. I know where there's one spot that there's a free agent out there that's better than what you got on your roster.
Which one?
Bill Belichick would be a better defensive coordinator than Aaron Glenn.
Oh, 100%. But he's probably taken that job to be Foxborough High School head coach. Is the only one he got. Isn't that crazy that Jeff Driscoll? Let me go through this list of people who got jobs before somebody. Mason Rudolph, Tyrod Taylor, Brett Ripien, Nathan Peterman, Easton Stick, Tyron Huntley, Josh Dobbs, Kyle Allen, Jeff Driscoll, and Carson Wentz all got jobs before Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, because they all are young and are going to cost less than what Tannehill would want. Outside of Wentz, he's a bum.
If we did get him, how much will he cost? Who are you talking about? Which one? Bill Belichick? Probably millions. But it doesn't.
Yeah, because he's making like $10 million a year now to be on the Manning cast as a regular guest.
And Pat McAfee is adding him to his show too.
I love Pat McAfee. Did you hear all the controversy with him this morning?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, he's in some trouble now because they were talking about the WNBA and how the only reason people care about Caitlin Clark is because she's white. And he went on a whole little rant about it, defending her and everything he was saying that the whole fact that people are interested in her is not just because she's some white bitch. And he said those exact words on live TV. It's because she's a superstar, great passer. She can shoot the three. She brings interest to it. And he went on this whole big thing about how she's a great player. And the fact that she's white doesn't matter. And now everybody's all offended about it because he called her a white bitch.
God. Because he made an out-of-pocket statement, right?
Yes, even though it's 100% true.
Hard time believing he'd take a position behind a head coach. No coach wants a Hall of Famer on their shoulder. Well, you're probably not wrong. I'm just the opposite. If it makes the team better, I'm all for it. He's orchestrated some great defenses over the years, other than the Patriots.
My only problem with that, why he wouldn't work with the Lions, is Dan Campbell is not the same kind of coach that he is. So they would butt heads. Bill Belichick is a very hard-nosed, no bullshit coach, where Campbell's got a little more of a light side to him.
Right.
People like Dan Campbell. Players fucking hated Bill Belichick.
You know, and I that reason right there is why I wanted us to sign Wink Martindale. I think he would have a better time in Detroit with the type of guy Dan Campbell is than he was with Brian Dable in New York.
I agree, but you know what? With the state of where the Giants were at when Brian DeBall came in, we needed a guy like him who's going to tear into people and hold them accountable. Right. We had a freaking Bill Belichick basically type of authoritarian with freaking Tom Coughlin for years, and the team performed. Then we went to freaking Ben Suckadoo and Joe fucking Joke, and yeah, the team was dog ass with both of them for freaking 10 years.
Oh, I know
everything up, and we had to reset it back to what it is.
Because that team didn't perform without somebody being like. If you think about it.
Yep.
James Virgin.
End of the day, you need to be able to be on people's asses.
Ryan Tannehill is excellence personified if you want vanilla mediocrity. +1, James. +1.
At least you don't put mayo in his coffee.
Yep.
Ooh, so you saw that meme about Will Levis, right?
Yeah.
That if he was released on the football field with as fast as it was in that tape, he'd be a superstar?
Right.
Absolutely. Rex Ryan was one of the best defensive coordinators ever. He was a horrible head coach, but as a defensive mind, the guy's amazing. As long as he just keeps his freaking face away from people's feet. All I can think is Mark Sanchez is feeding his face saying, "Wiggle your toes, bitch."
Was that after the fumble?
No, you know, statistically, Mark Sanchez is actually a really good quarterback statistically.
I know. He statistically, he was one of the best Jets quarterbacks.
He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL as completion percentages in QBR.
And him and Chad Pennington, both.
Yeah.
But everything else was dog shit around him, which is why they fell apart.
Dude, I agree. Dude, like him and Sam Darnold both got a bad stick. They were both drafted too high to the goddamn Jets after 1 year of starting in USC. Like, come on.
I understand him. He likes beat. I like man titty. Mine are just a B cup, though, Orlando. Calm down.
I'm more than just a piece of meat, Orlando. Knock it off. It really was. The first 2 years, you went back-to-back AFC championships.
Kind of like Chad Pennington. If you think about it.
Chad Pennington had a really good team around him, though. Mark Sanchez really didn't. Who was the best receiver he had? Santonio Holmes?
First couple of years, people were saying he was better than Stafford.
He was playing better than Stafford.
Statistically, he was. But playing in front of the New York City media, he got ate alive. Because every mistake got compounded.
If you have a weak mind, you can't play there. Just like when Zach Greinke could not. Why we didn't get him to the Yankees? Because he couldn't play there. They wanted him bad, and he knew he couldn't play there. That his mind was not okay enough for that.
It takes a certain mindset. It's beyond just an alpha male. It takes a certain mindset to be able to negate the New York media. Do you?
That's why. Not at all. Eli Manning was a perfect quarterback for New York because of his demeanor. Because
Right.
you know what? At the end of the day, he's just like, I don't really give a fuck. I want to win. I don't give a fuck about you. So it worked.
In New York City, a media meat grinder eats the weak, their strong, their children, etc. +2.
100%. And that kind of ties into why one of my issues with Goff did when he bitched about the Detroit media. I'm like, bruh, you don't know what a bad media is.
I understand what he was saying and what he was griping about, but at the same time, I kind of agree with Lenner. He probably should have just kept his mouth shut.
Exactly, because now when he does something wrong, expect him to go under that bus big time. You'll see week 1 or some shit, something weird will happen. You throw 2 interceptions, lose a game for some reason somewhere in the year. I'm not predicting, I'm just saying as an example. And they're going to tear his contract up. They're going to tear up his lifestyle. They're going to tear up everything about him. And then he'll see what it really is.
The butt fumble is nowhere near as bad as the Orlovsky play.
Yeah, Orlovsky's play gave you that 0-16 season.
Right. The only game we had a chance of winning, and he ran out the back of the end zone.
And honestly, that butt fumble wasn't even on Mark Sanchez. It wasn't even his fault. Exactly. And who was their center at that time? Was that Kevin Mawai?
Yes. One of the best centers in the NFL ever. Kevin Mawai. But yet, he was blocking. He pushed the guy, and he stepped back into Sanchez when he was trying to do a QB dive. If you watch that play. Both plays will live forever. Yeah, I remember he put on Twitter. He put on Twitter Dan Orlovsky when Brock Purdy ran out or not Brock Purdy, was it Jimmy Garoppolo? Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo versus the Broncos to give him a win. When he went out the back of the end zone to score a safety, he goes, "Freedom!" I said, "Calm down, bitch boy. You will never be free from causing an 0-16 season."
I still like Dan Orlovsky too.
I like his take some of the time, but sometimes for him to act the way he does about Detroit football. Galarraga's gaff. You talking about the perfect hitter that got ruined because a ump made a bad call? That wasn't a gaff. That wasn't a gaff. He made the play. It was a bad call. Orlovsky is a decent guy. He was not a decent NFL quarterback on Sunday. Good, great in the film room for the most part. Yep.
There's a lot of quarterbacks like that, James. So I'll tell you like this. One of my favorite quarterbacks of all time was Tim Tebow. And was he a good quarterback? Absolutely not. He could read a defense, didn't have a great arm, but the guy was a winner. And nobody will ever tell you he was a great NFL quarterback. But he did just enough to win. And he would put that game on his legs, on his arm, whatever he needed to do. Yes, college. Absolutely. Great college quarterback.
Are we talking about Jimmy G String again?
We're talking about everybody.
That being said, it's the time of night when we get to talk about our sponsors, and we're not live on Roku, so we can say fuck it. Put it in the chat. Who's our favorite sponsor?
Fuck the Packers.
Yes, sir. FTP. FTP. What was that chant they did on draft day? Fuck the Packers.
I wish I could be an asshole real quick.
What's that?
I'm going to be an asshole real quick. Just for the rest of this month, I'm going to redo that logo. They're going to be some rainbow lions, and it's going to say "For the Pride" is what it means.
Ooh. And I won't show it.
I'll show it. I'll put it as my background.
You're a dick.
I just feel real smart that I was able to put that together because the Lions won Pride things today. I was like, hey, wait a minute. And it just clicked.
Yeah. Quit running off the viewers. We just dropped 2.
You're doing your freaking what's it called? Your sponsors. They always run away.
Put FTP on them titties and Tebow Black Chalk. I want to give a shout out to Brian Stover. He lives up in the UP. He put up a Green Bay Packers flag and had black spray paint and put FTP on it. It lasted an hour before somebody burned it on the side of the road. Congrats to him. He made flag burning popular again. Beating Kitties 316.
Oh my god.
He is on one tonight, ain't he?
Fucking Orlando. I don't get paid enough for this kind of abuse.
Los Negron, the best window tinner in Saginaw on 409 Hamilton Street in Saginaw. The phone number is 989-443-9240 to schedule your appointment, to have the windows tinted or your car detailed. He could make it look great. He is up for the award again. He is in the top 5 in voting right now. He can make your whip look like this 300 C-Class, this Maserati, or this Audi. If you need it cleaned up, shined up, whatever it may be, give him a call. He can take care of it. God, I love that logo. Who did that logo for us?
Oh, some guy named the Wild Woody Show.
Yeah, the Wild Woody Show. He's been in the chat before. You'll know. He'll say, "What's up, brother?"
Yes, sir. We love Woody around here. Good dude.
He is a good dude. Last but not least, it's Brandon Service right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road, Flint, Michigan, 48507 is the address. Stop in there, get a nice price at $40 and up for used tires. If you need new tires, call this number 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself to get your quote for brand new tires. So, Von Doom the rapper, your influence?
Huh? I don't understand.
Neither do I.
I'm old, man. You got to be more specific about things for me.
In other NFL news, rest in peace to Larry Allen. Played for the Cowboys and the 49ers. Had one of the best tackles from behind on a linebacker I've ever seen. That was the against the Saints. That's what put him as a household name, that play right there. Google Von Doom and that logo. He is old.
The Von Doom thing is actually Doctor Doom from freaking Marvel. From the Fantastic Four is where the whole thing from it. And it came about as a joke when I put in Doctor Doom because I was in a shitty mood and I just wanted to shit on everybody.
Part of
It
one of
just
the
stuck.
best lines ever in history, Larry Allen. Yes, he was
Probably the strongest offensive lineman in history, too. The guy benched 700 pounds like it was nothing.
right. Didn't they have Nate Newton and Larry Allen as the guards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit. That's what we call the Great Line of Dallas. I mean, the Great Wall of Dallas.
Orlando Escobrano said he's a legendary New York underground rapper. I'm surprised. He's not from New York. He just likes the New York Giants.
Yeah, from Jersey.
He's from Jersey, you moron.
From Jersey, motherfucker.
But rest in peace to Larry Allen. We lost another Hall of Famer. 52 years young. He was 2 years. I'll be 54 in October. He's 2 years younger than me. And here I thought VD was channeling the Doom guy, Space Marine from the famous game all this time.
I'll have to look him up, Orlando. That is fucking badass.
So he literally uses that logo, Orlando, because that Orlando was just created not too long ago.
Yeah, if so, man, we're gonna have some copyright issues. Kick his ass.
We'll just get another one.
Facts.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Orlando, James, Dwayne Keene, Ricky Sakat, Smoking Dad, all you guys. It's been amazing seeing you this evening. Oh, he just died not too long ago. It's not a copyright infringement, then you're good, bro. Ooh, Tigers are ahead now, 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Nice. But everybody have a great evening. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. And just a reminder on where you can find us on Roku if you want to watch us on your television when we're live at noon and on 9 p.m. on Fridays.
Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.